Thousands of visitors flock to North Carolina's beaches for fun and family vacations every year. It hasn't always been that way, and right outside of Atlantic Beach, just across from the port town of Beaufort, is living proof. Fort Macon stands as a testimony to our country's past and how vulnerable trade was to a young colony. The town of Beaufort came under direct threat in 1747 when colonists were attacked by Spanish ships. Later, in the War for American Independence, because there was no coastal defenses, the British captured the town. Two attempts to build forts were met with mixed results. One fort was never built, and the other was only used for about 10 years before it was abandoned and later lost into the inlet during a storm. In 1826, construction began on the current Fort Macon. The fort, named for U.S. Senator Nathaniel Macon, who secured the funds for its development, was finally garrisoned in 1835. At the onset of the war between the states in April of 1861, the fort was seized by Confederate forces. The fort itself was by then outdated and not prepared for any siege from ground forces, and in early 1862, Union forces began a campaign that led to a massive bombardment of the fort. Within hours, the fort was reduced to ruins, and Confederate forces were forced to surrender. The fort remained in Union hands for the duration of the war and saw no further action. After the war, the fort saw very little activity, serving as a federal prison for a short period of time, and was garrisoned during the Spanish-American War. In 1923, the fort was offered as federal surplus and bought by the state of North Carolina for $1. The fort was in disrepair until the Civilian Conservation Corps helped rebuild the fort in 1934 and 1935. During World War II, the fort was garrisoned for the final time. Through several efforts to restore the fort and maintain its historical significance to the port of Beaufort, the fort stands today just as it did prior to the siege of 1862. Signs of the past siege are still present if visitors look closely. It's easy to see how the fort commanded the entire inlet to Beaufort. The fort is open to the general public at no cost. The fort has also recently had a new visitor center built, which includes not only a history of the fort, but also a coastal ecosystem display of the surrounding area. Fort Macon Park contains over 400 acres and offers demonstrations at various times. For the latest information, visit the park's webpage or call their main office number. Hours may vary by season, so contact the main park office before planning a visit. Because the fort was built for war, special care should be taken when visiting. High walls, steep steps, and trip hazards do exist. To fully enjoy the fort, the displays, and the visitor center, allow at least 2 hours. Nearby areas provide bathhouses for swimming, picnic tables, and some great fishing along the point. All these great opportunities for fun and education make Fort Macon a Carolina hotspot.